Defense, or not, sorry, prosecution, go ahead with your next witness.
Your Honor, the state calls Leo Carpeo to the stand. Carpeo, I apologize.
Mr. Carpeo, make sure you're speaking loudly, please.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you get to raise your left hand, please. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
You may be seated.
Okay.
All right. Prosecution, go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon. Good evening. Sorry, sir.
Good evening.
And could you state your full name for the record, please?
Leo Carpeo.
And are you okay with me addressing you by Mr. Carpeo? Do you have something else you'd like to be addressed by?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay. All right. Mr. Carpeo, do you know William Beck?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How do you know him?
Him and I have had a long, I would say, friendship, if you will, a relationship, if you will.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. And there's a couple instances I want to talk to you about. And just so I don't get anybody confused here, we're just going to break them up into separate questions, essentially. Firstly, I want to talk about the allegation of selling guns. Do you recall that?
Of Mr. Benning selling guns?
Sorry, take you to sell gun parts.
No, I don't recall him to take me to sell gun parts, but he has taken me to buy gun parts, yes.
Okay, can you explain what happened?
So I had met Mr. William Benning actually outside the PD office, and I don't remember what led to our conversation, but we had got where we were talking about unserialized guns, and he said that he knows information about it. And so I asked him, and he actually took me to a location where I could buy a gun part that was unserialized, and from then our relationship grew.
Okay, and if he did say anything to you, what was the reason for buying the gun parts?
Well, with these gun parts, they're unserialized, so it's a weapon that will not come back to you in a sense. So, you know, when you go to PD, the ammunition, and you purchase a weapon, your name is attached to the weapon. But these weapons that he was asking me to make, they were unserialized.
Okay, and did you frequently have meetings about these guns?
Mr. Benning and I met quite a few times about these weapons, and he would ask my progress on these. Yes.
Okay. And did you ever consume drugs at these meetings?
There was a few times where we did consume drugs. Yes.
Okay. And what kind of drugs were those?
Cocaine.
Okay. And then, sorry, I don't want to get too much into it. If I'm going too far, please let me know. How much cocaine did both of you take?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance. This has nothing to do with the articles that are before us.
I'll overrule it.
Sorry, I'm just going to repeat my question for one more time, just because I already forgot it. But so sorry. My question was, how many drugs, or basically, how much drugs did you consume? How much cocaine did you consume at these meetings?
I mean, I don't remember or recall how much, but it was definitely a few bags, if you will.
Okay. And did you snort this? Did you? How was it taken?
Yeah, so we would just snort it off of our cell phone in the car.
Okay. And did you watch him snort cocaine with your own eyes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And at any point,
Objection, Your Honor. This is not relevant.
Overruled.
At any point, did you inform law enforcement of the situation?
Of course not.
And why not?
Well, you know, I knew he was a state representative, and at that time our relationship was I guess on the good side, and of course I didn't want him to get in trouble as well as myself. You know, I'm consuming drugs. I'm not gonna snitch on myself.
Okay. And looking back at it now, how does it make you feel that you consume drugs with a state representative?
Well, now as I say here, it's very regretting. But at the time, I thought, you know, I got someone who was in a higher position in my pocket.
Okay. And did you feel like you would be able to use his position to your advantage?
Absolutely.
Okay. Why is that?
For instance, if I needed, you know, if I was in trouble with the law, maybe I could have him help me, you know, get out of prison or get out of trouble.
Okay. And fast forwarding down the road, I know you gave me a statement. You submitted a statement to me. Did at any point you ever call law enforcement and inform them of this? At any point?
Not a phone call, but I did go down to PD and talk to them about it. I don't recall what officer it was, though.
Sure. And what happened after you told law enforcement? What happened?
After that, William Benning had found out that I was speaking to the PD, and so our relationship started going downhill.
And how was that?
For example, it would get every time I would see William out in public, it would get physical on 3 different occasions, phone calls, threats.
Okay. And what kind of threats did he make to you over the phone?
To me personally, he would tell me that I was gonna be his 4th victim. He was gonna skin me like an onion. That I was a dead man. That he was gonna get the whole city to come after me. That he doesn't know how much, or I don't know how much power he has.
He said to you that you don't know how much power he has?
That's correct.
Okay. Was there anything else about this gun selling incident? I mean, sorry, gun purchasing. I apologize.
No, I mean, he took me to a couple locations, and then he had just given me advice on the other locations.
Okay. And we touched a little bit about it with Miss Stiles. I just want to talk to you a little bit about the Black Uber altercation. Can you explain what happened from your perspective?
Yeah, so I got a phone call, and William said that he needed to talk to me, but he wanted to talk to me in person, and I told him I was at work, and excuse me. And he then, when he showed up, I took him upstairs because he said he wanted to talk in private. So I went upstairs, and that's when I had seen Miss Stiles up there, and it got heated as what Pippi was Miss Stiles was describing, and then it turned into a physical altercation.
Okay, and Miss Stiles, talk a little bit about the statement. Do you recall the statement that you made to Mr. Benning that I guess you could say set him off?
Yes. So when he was walking, he made a threat to me, and I told him that I laughed at him and said, "You're not gonna do it, quote unquote. You're not gonna do shit to me."
Okay, and then after that, he began punching people?
That's correct. Just me and Miss Stiles.
Okay. And was he banned from Black Uber? Or sorry, I should probably ask, like, did anything happen to him regarding Black Uber?
Unfortunately, no, because at the time, apparently he said that he was an investor of Black Uber. So the owner at that time and him were friends, and he was able to manipulate the owner into making us look bad.
Okay, and when you say manipulate the owner, can you talk a little bit about that?
I don't exactly know what the conversation was between him and the previous owner, but all I know is the previous owner did not like the fact that there was a physical altercation at Black Uber.
Okay. And just for my clarity, did law enforcement ever respond to the situation on Black Uber?
Not that I recall. I don't think we called the police.
Okay. And I'd like to fast forward a little bit to quite recently, really. You actually encountered Mr. Benning a couple days back?
Yes, last Thursday.
Can you explain what happened there?
Yes, I was actually at Mosley's and I was purchasing a car. While at Mosley's, I saw Mr. Benning, and I just said, "Oh, if it isn't Mr. Benning himself," and then he turned around and said, "Oh, if it isn't the rat himself," and so him and I got into a verbal altercation. My car was already purchased, so as I was getting into the vehicle, he walked over and he kicked the car. He did say it was an accident, so I let that one go. However, he kept saying that I was a rat and that he was going to rain hell down after his impeachment, because he said, in fact, he was going to get impeached and then he was going to come after me. Therefore, the owner of Mosley said, "You guys need to respect my property. You need to take it off the property." So as I was driving away, Mr. Benning followed me, and I had stopped because I was leaving the building and I was, looking to make sure I didn't get into a car accident. At that point, he came over and still was running his mouth. I then got out of the car and we got into a physical altercation where I ultimately had to defend myself and ended up needing to go into the hospital.
Okay. And before I get to the last incident, I emailed you and I asked if you'd be willing to be a witness on this case.
Yes, sir.
And you kind of gave me a rundown of all the incidents that's ever happened.
Yes, sir.
And you started off that email by saying, "William Benning is not the man that you all think he is. William Benning is a crooked criminal who is using his powers of a state rep to get what he wants." Could you explain what you meant by that and why you feel that way?
I think William Benning uses his powers to manipulate people, as he did myself, to do
Objection, speculation.
Sustained.
Okay. All right. And I'd like to... Oops, sorry, sir. You were saying something?
Yeah, if I can. I don't know if it was in my email to you, but as well as the teapot incident.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get to that. Don't worry.
Okay, sorry.
What happened with the little teapot incident? Let's jump there.
Yes. So I had pulled up to the little teapot and William Benning was already there. And this was before the whole Black Uber incident. And so when I got there, a verbal altercation started, but I didn't want to do anything. So I told William, I said, leave me alone. Don't talk to me. He still kept talking, aggressively. At that point, I was standing in front of the ATM, and he was standing more towards the door of the little teapot. And so he kept going on. There was multiple people outside. And then he said, well, I need to get to the ATM anyways. So I had moved out of the way across the patio out there. And he went to the ATM. I don't know if he pulled out money or anything. But then he got back in my face again. And I told him, I said, if you're going to continue to be in my face, I'm going to have to defend myself. I have walked away from you. And at that point, he still was in my face. So we got into a physical altercation. I believe police were called there, but I'm not sure.
Okay. And I wanted to touch on one very last thing, and then Mr. Benning's attorney is going to ask you some questions, the state rep as well, and then we might ask you some more. We call this the personal hit list incident. Did you ever call Mr. William Benning while he was in the prison?
Yes, I did make one phone call to him while he was in prison.
Okay. And did he tell you something about his hit list?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Before we get into what he said, who was included on the hit list?
Are you talking about the names that he had spoken?
Yes.
The names that he had spoken, Cassandra Cohen, Cole Gordon, and Harvey Ross.
Okay. And if you recall, what did he say he was going to do to Cole Gordon?
His exact words was he was going to skin Cole Gordon himself.
Okay. And during the conversation, did he tell you when he was going to do all of this?
He did. He said that after the impeachment, he was going to put all this in action.
So he told you that he was going to wait until after this was all over?
Correct.
And did he ever say that he was going to come after you?
No, actually, he didn't say that he was going to come after me. I actually was talking to him, and he actually tried to get me on as a team member.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was actually going to get to. During this conversation, he asked you for help?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
He asked if I could get a team together and help him, another team, like 2 other members, and help him commit these crimes.
And who did the team include?
He brought up the name of a good friend of mine, Eddie Styles. And then he brought up another team member, but at that time, that person, if you will, was not, I don't know how to say this. He had turned his life around.
Okay. And what else did he say in the phone call that you haven't mentioned?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Here, I could be a little more specific. You stated to me in the statement you gave me that he said that he was going to kill all the DOJ members?
Yes, he did say he was going to kill all the DOJ members, and that was when I said, that's a lot of people to kill. And then that's when he went into the list of, started naming off people.
Okay. And here, let me just ask you some names. Did he say he was going to come after me? I'm Cyrus Hunt.
I don't recall him saying your name.
Okay. Did he say he was going to go after Harvey?
Harvey Ross, yes.
What about all the way down there in the back, Mr. Gordon?
Yes, he said he was going to skin Cole Gordon.
What about Cassandra Cohen?
Yes, he said he was going to take care of Cassandra Cohen.
And did he ever say that he was going to do any of these himself?
Yes, he said he wants to watch it and make sure that he wants to look them in the eye.
He wants to watch what?
Watch them, their life leave their body.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right. State reps, do you have anything?
No, Your Honor.
All right, defense, go ahead.
I apologize. Sir, would you just mind restating your name for the record?
Yes, it's Leo Carpeo.
Okay, Mr. Carpeo. Did you start the physical altercation of the fight at the Little Teapot?
No, sir.
Okay. I want to touch a little bit about on the alleged drug use. How long have you been using cocaine?
How long have I been using cocaine?
Yes, sir.
Is that relevant?
It's a question. How long have you been using cocaine?
I mean, I haven't lately, but before I was just off and on.
Okay, and you experienced effects from using cocaine, correct?
Yeah. Of course.
Okay, when was the first time you started using cocaine?
I can't really recall.
Okay, these effects, the effects that cocaine has on you can impair you, correct?
Of course.
Okay, and what is your understanding of impairment?
Not being in a normal mindset.
Okay, so you would agree that being under impairment is a weakened state of mind, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I would just want to touch on the incident where you were on the phone with Mr. Benning. When Mr. Benning allegedly said he was going to skin Cole Gordon, were you under the influence of cocaine or other drugs while this conversation happened?
No, sir.
Okay, when was the last time you used cocaine or other drugs before the conversation?
It was probably 2 or 3 weeks prior.
Okay, and I just want to go back to the cocaine usage questions. So we established that you would agree that cocaine gives you an altered state of mind, correct?
In a sense, yes.
Okay, so in the end, if you're impaired, you'd have no way of knowing what Mr. Benning did or did not do while you were impaired. Is that correct?
No, that's not true.
Okay, can you elaborate on that, please?
Have you ever been drunk?
I have not, no.
Okay, well, when you drink alcohol, you're in a state, you're impaired state, yes?
I asked you to elaborate, not ask questions.
Okay.
He can ask you that question. I'd like to hear the answer on this now.
Okay, can you repeat the question then?
Okay, when you drink alcohol and you're in an impaired state of mind, yes?
Excessive amounts, yes.
Okay, and you can sometimes you can remember your what you did during those consumption of the alcohol.
He hasn't. Keep the answering the question, please. Instead, no, I've tolerated that long enough.
So, so what I'm saying is, just because you're impaired doesn't mean you're. I don't remember what was done.
Okay, the defense has no further questions.
Can you state your name again for me, please?
My name?
Mm-hmm.
Leo Carpeo.
Okay, Mr. Carpeo, are you
Yes,
a
ma'am.
medical doctor at all?
No, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Defense, or prosecution, do you have want to redirect?
Yes, very, very briefly. Okay, so if I understand correctly, I believe he's trying to say that this phone call, or you may forget it. Do you remember this phone call?
Yes, I remember.
And you understand that what you're saying here today is under the penalty of perjury.
Yes.
Would you lie to the court?
No, absolutely not.
Do you have any reason to lie?
I have no reason to lie.
Do you have any... Will you gain anything if Mr. Benning gets disqualified?
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
Sustained.
I'll just end on this note. He asked you a lot of questions about using cocaine.
Yes, he did.
Did you see Mr. Benning take cocaine?
Yes, I did.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Defense, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, you may step down. Please remember that you are under oath if you're called back to the stand. State reps, anything dealing with medical knowledge or anything like that he had stated, I want you to strike that from your minds, considering he has stated himself he is not a medical expert.
Yes, Your Honor.